And right now we want to go ahead and check in with the live desk where Barry Leone is following a story out of Hopkins. Barry, the city of Hopkins is still grieving following a tragic incident last week.
Yeah, the city of Hopkins community members, neighbors, loved ones, they gathered last night to honor the lives of 3 people who were killed there last Wednesday: Evie Brown, Kristen Brown, and Alice Brown. The man, 41-year-old Nathan Brown, he had killed his mother, his wife, and daughter, according to police, all in one day. Then himself inside the daycare his wife ran at their home. Children mourned alongside their parents as the community took a moment to light candles and sing together. City Council member Heidi Garrido described the moment she told her daughter her best friend had died. It was one of the worst moments of her life.
I took a solid couple of minutes with her on my lap, not even knowing how to say the words to her. And it was, I never, ever want to be in that position again. I mean, she's 7 years old, and I broke her in that moment.
Now, the families whose children went to Brown Bear Daycare, that's the daycare Kristen ran, released a statement. They call it a second home, saying Kristen loved our children as her own. They also called Evie the heart of Brown Bear.
Just awful circumstances, but it's also, Barrett, it's nice to see a community coming together to unite with such strength of something so tragic there.
Yeah.
All right, we appreciate that update.
If you or someone you know is struggling with domestic violence, there is help available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by calling the number on your screen or visiting thehotline.org. There are new details showing how it took state and federal investigators years to crack a sex trafficking ring case.
The alleged head of a sex trafficking ring sent a message to a celebrated Twin Cities entrepreneur saying, quote, "I'm always going to make us money. I'm going to make us rich. I'm smiling because I'm going to take over this whole state."
That entrepreneur is 30-year-old Salman Elmi, at one point recognized by Minnesota's Department of Human Services as an Outstanding Refugee Award winner for entrepreneurship. Now he's accused of taking advantage of that very service.
WCCO's Adam Duxter breaks down the connected crimes that led to the alleged sex trafficking of more than a dozen victims.
Frank Reeves, Victoria Komanash, Andrea Sampson, and now Salman Elmi. 4 names accused of running 4 agencies: Riva Health, Riva Autism, Helpful Housing, and Home Felt Assisted Living. Monday, we're learning those 4 billing more than $4.5 million to Medicaid since 2023. Court documents say the scheme started with recruiting young women who are often homeless or struggling with addiction, housing, or finances. From there, they would rent apartments for those women in their own names, using fake pay stubs and enrolling them in a pay-for-sex scheme investigators say they've been tracking since 2019. From there, documents say the 4 leaders began stealing their victims' identities to bill Medicaid in their name. Investigators say at the center of this scheme is Elmi, who got the loan and incorporated Riva Health and has since transferred more than $140,000 from those accounts to his own business.
It's incredibly significant. It's also very indicative of what trafficking is as a whole.
Heidi Clegg works for Breaking Free, a Minnesota group that helps people escape trafficking. She says she believes these arrests could just be the tip of the iceberg.
These are not just gangs. They're not scary people stealing people off the street. These are people that you work with every day. They're people who are in our communities, who are living next door to us, who are participating in these things.
Adam Duxter, WCCO News.
It is worth noting that Salman Elmi is not in jail right now despite his arrest. He was released on the condition he give up his passport and not leave the state of Minnesota. As for those other 3 alleged ringleaders, including former Assistant County Attorney Andrea Sampson, they are all still in the Hennepin County Jail.
The 60-day memorandum of understanding between the U.S. and Iran has just expired after aiming to bring their conflict to an end. With the Strait of Hormuz still closed, President Trump turned his attention to Oman yesterday. He lashed out at the U.S. ally for its ongoing talks with Iran about the future management of the waterway. The president told Fox News, quote, "If Oman gets in the way, we'll bomb the expletive out of them." Meanwhile, the head of Iran's army is offering $30,000 bounties for the capture or killing of U.S. soldiers.
This morning, we're learning about right-wing activists who went undercover on primary day pretending to be Minnesota voters. Their actions could land them in legal trouble. The group, once known as Project Veritas and now calling themselves the Citizen Justice League, went into polling places to test Minnesota's voter vouching law. This is video of the group dressed in Muslim clothing, posing as potential voters. This video has racked up more than 7 million views online. Now, the voter vouching law allows a registered voter to go to the polls and vouch for as up to 8 voters living at an address in the polling district. This 53-year-old law was designed to help people who just moved be able to vote. Election officials say one of the men impersonated a real Minnesota voter named William Pomerantz and pretended to vouch for others. Well, WCCO spoke to the real William Pomerantz as well as Minnesota Secretary of State Steve Simon about this very scheme.
I actually had a student contact me that had showed me what was online about my identity being misrepresented. So that was pretty much a shock. So I found out late on Friday.
They can say whatever they want about any office, any public official, any law. Of course they can, but they can't break the law.
That is wild. A student contacted him saying, hey, is this you? Nobody ended up voting illegally, but it's clear from the video one of the group members was pretending clearly to be somebody he is not. Impersonating a Minnesota voter at a polling place is a felony, punishable by a maximum of 7 years in prison and or a $20,000 fine. We have reached out to Project Veritas and the Citizen Justice League. We still have not yet heard back.
The federal government won't have access to some of your private information as a voter. On Monday, a federal judge dismissed a Department of Justice suit to obtain Minnesota voter rolls, which include names, birthdays, addresses, your driver's license number, and last 4 digits of your social security number. The Trump administration sued Minnesota and more than 20 other states, claiming they need the information to prevent fraud and keep non-citizens from voting. They've lost all of those cases. The ACLU called Monday's ruling an important win for Minnesota voters.